Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.
While Nigerians are still trying to grapple with the circumstances and situation of confusion they have found themselves, it is our pleasure to remind you that it's just 5 days to the general elections. Now, whether the elections will hold, according to some people, is another big question. Good morning and welcome to Rise and Shine Daily. My name is Janice Cobham. Good to have you again. Join us on a new week. Of course, today is a Monday and the beginning of the working week.
Good morning, Africa. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Akwa Ibom State. It's a beautiful day to be alive, and it's a good day to rise and shine wherever you are. My name is Uyai Anekan, and I am super delighted to be here this morning. I'd like to encourage you to be a part of the growing community. So like, share, comment across all our social media platforms, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. We also have phone lines that will be displayed on your screen. Today is Monday. We've had a long weekend. It's a good day to share your thoughts. Elections is in 5 days. What are your expectations? Certain things that will be brought on the floor of Rise and Shine this morning. We'd like for you to share your contributions. Do well to also send us text messages and WhatsApp messages, and we will definitely address them on the floor this morning.
Yeah, definitely.
Good morning, Janice.
When I said whether the elections was going to hold, questions a lot of Nigerians will be asking, and I saw the way you looked at me. Of course, yes, those are the questions Nigerians are asking at this point in time because of all of the confusion we are facing as a country, and where we are, is more like we've been boxed to a sport where we cannot go forward, we cannot go backwards, we're just there, and so it's giving people a lot of concerns to even ask, will the elections hold? Like we said, we just have 5 days to the elections and so many things happening, so many things unsorted as we speak. And I think I was talking to somebody yesterday, and the person said, look, we are in a state of confusion. Citizens do not know what to believe and what not to believe at this time. Citizens do not know what to comply with and what not to comply with at this time. So it's more like federal government is saying one thing, one state governor somewhere is saying another thing, and then the Supreme Court, which is the apex court, is saying something else. So we are just in a situation where we are just boxed to one corner.
Yeah, definitely we are really boxed to one corner, and that confusion around the elections holding on Saturday is something else. But all that aside, we still know that the expectation is very, very high.
Of course,
Nigerians are literally doing a countdown to the general election. It's never been seen. The kind of palpitation and expectation we can feel on the streets of Nigeria is different from what we've ever experienced as a country. And we do really hope, at this point, we are actually keeping our fingers crossed, and we are hoping that for no reason, for God's sake, should we have the elections move. So we are looking at certain things being put together for logistics. We had Mahmoud Yakubu last week say that as that when he gave that statement, it was 10 days to the general elections, and monies had not been released for certain logistics to be handled. I mean, they have to pay ad hoc staff and all of those kinds of things. He had said money was not available, but we are hoping that by today, which is a brand new working day, that the federal government is going to actually put aside pressure from all other sectors and just let's sort out elections, which is this week. That's the presidential election and the Senate and all of that. Let's sort out that particular election first, and then after next week we can continue with the rat race of whoever, one governor saying this, the president is saying that. But this week I feel like all hands need to be on deck. Let's achieve the elections. And another thought is, if we had wanted to postpone the election in court, it should have been done before this week. waiting until 5 days before the election, then it suddenly tells Nigerians, at this point we don't think we can carry on. I think it will also smell like a fish coming from somewhere. You've had maybe like 2 weeks to the election to be able to do that, but we are counting 5 days. We're literally counting down in hours to the elections. So we just feel like Mahmoud Yakubu, the federal government, everyone who is a stakeholder in the processing for this election should make sure that it works nonetheless.
Yeah, I don't think that the federal government is operating from any pressure. Okay, and the last time we checked, everything is like prepared according to INEC now, and in terms of the elections,
materials
materials and all of that, logistics, everything is prepared. It's just there waiting for when the bells will be rang, for elections to begin and all of that. But where we are as a country, I'm sure that's the angle a lot of people are coming from. I'm even sorry, maybe I would have even asked you how your weekend was, and that would make us to put things in perspective. I was not able to go to anywhere because I didn't have money, physical cash now, to move around. And if you're moving around, you're like calculating how much you have and where you have to go to and where you do not have to go to, even though all the places you need to go to are very important for you. But because of where we are as a country, we begin to like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to go. This is the most important. You begin to do priority checks and all of that, So that's where we have found ourselves. I don't know if the story was different from yours, but
it was the same thing actually.
It's where everybody is right now. Now the question is, will people even have the monies, to come out and go to their polling units? Now the whole idea about polling units is let it be a walk through, something you can walk to, from your home or something like that. But we need to move around, and that's the truth about it. And people are not having the monies to do that. So it leaves us with that question again that Nigerians are asking. Even with
that question on our minds, Nigerians at this point have become very resolute when it comes to the elections. So you're going to find out that people are going to start planning ahead of the elections. Nigerians are not even going to allow the issue of money to be used as an excuse, that they didn't come up for the election. So you're going to find out that there are some people that registered in their hometowns and have to travel back home to be able, to vote. So I'm very, very sure that that's where you now hear that money is being sold at an exorbitant price, and someone will buy it because they rather, buy that money and travel home than not vote in this coming election. For the longest time, we've had conversations about how, transitional this election is for Nigeria and for Nigerians. So we see that although there's been a lot of hurdle and difficulty some weeks, preluding the elections, I still believe that Nigerians are going to go over themselves just to be able to go vote on Saturday. So we are not really seeing this money issue get in the way of the elections, as it were. We've even seen the president, come out and apologize for the difficulty that he knows that Nigerians are currently facing. So we see that one way or the other, Nigerians are going to find a way to navigate this particular election, whether we even have money to eat right now or not. Our case is more like, we have seen how it is. We better determine who sits on that seat next, or maybe the country will be getting worse off than it currently is. So I don't think we will, in terms of, I was concerned initially, will Nigerians come out to vote? Would they use, but I have asked questions, checked localities here and there, and I see that Nigerians are pumped towards the elections, so my expectations are back right up.
Okay, so of course this is Rise and Shine, and what we do here is to give you topical issues, talk about topical issues that are affecting Nigeria as a whole, your community, your state, everywhere in the country. And so today is not going to be different. We'll take a check at major stories making the rounds, and we're going to be starting with the All Progressives Congress. Of course, still talking about the Naira scarcity and Naira crisis in the country. We saw yesterday where the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, in a closed-door meeting with some of the governors of his party platform. In attendance at the ongoing meeting holding at Buhari House are governors of Plateau, Nasarawa, Niger, Kaduna, Kogi, Gombe, Yobe, Zamfara, Ekiti, Jigawa, and deputy governors of Imo and Kano State. Of course, in the opening remarks, the APC national chairman said he called the meeting to discuss the ongoing situation in the country. He said, and I quote, "Now it is my privilege to welcome you to this important emergency meeting. It is that we found a situation where we have a pressing need to get together as our flag bearers of our states in Nigeria, who we elected on the platform of our great party, the APC. I am happy with the response so far, and it is my understanding that more of the governors are on the way coming. You will recall the recent development that has necessitated the need for this visit." Of course, our APC Presidential Campaign Council seeks 25% votes in Anambra and all of that. So, okay, so more like the APC leaders, governors of the different states under the APC platform necessarily had to meet, to discuss the challenges of the country so far. So yeah, before we even continue on this conversation, let's take a listen to the video.
Of the Federation and the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria to respect the Supreme Court order of interim injunction, which is still existing. That the meeting is urging His Excellency, Mr. President, to intervene in resolving the issues that are causing these great difficulties to the people and the economy of the Federal of Nigeria and the national economy.
Of course, we see the governors right there, and behind his motive for gathering them together in one spot was just to brainstorm on some of the issues that are facing, Nigerians at this time, especially as they are, the people at the helms of affairs in their different states. And it's more like it's been mostly the APC governors that moved against the federal government and the president, in the suits against the federal government and CBN. So he's saying, let's come together and let's see how, we can mitigate and sway into the situation for Nigerians, as it were. Of course, several resolutions were brought up. They looked at the policy crisis itself and different things. He emphasized that the essence of the meeting was not, of course, to sit in judgment of anybody. It was just to look into the recent happenings in the country as it affects the ruling APC. Now, it just goes back to when we heard Bola Ahmed Tinubu say, all of these trials, all of these activities, from fuel scarcity to the money crunch, was geared against him, to scuttle his chances at the election. So you find out that even some, governors of the APC also hold this particular belief close to their heart, that some of these attempts are, moves to scuttle the election against the APC. But whether that is true or not, we really can't tell, because at the end of the day, the entire country is suffering under the burden of this particular policy. So several other things that now, since they are the ones who were forth in their respective positions and they were elected on the platform of the APC, it is expected for them to have an interaction so that they can have a better understanding of what the situation is. Now, this was the statement of Senator Adamo, and then they also looked at the fact that protests have broken out, seeing vandalization of several banks across different states, and then death in some states, which this has been some of the things that have trailed the implementation of the redesign of the policy. Now, he says that particular developments forced the governors to seek various means to still the brewing storm. But of course, we see that the whole situation is still lingering.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think they had two resolutions at the end of the day. The first one was that the party is urging the AGF and the CBN to obey the Supreme Court ruling. And then the second one is that the party is requesting the president's intervention to reduce the current hardship affecting Nigerians. Of course, we saw, was it on Friday now? No, on Thursday? Thursday, yes, where the president gave an address to, you know, Nigerians saying that, okay, so we are going to continue using the old 200 Naira and urged, you know, the Central Bank of Nigeria to recirculate the old 200 Naira notes. But the question was, is the old 200 Naira even enough for us, you know, as Nigerians and all of that? But there has also been the argument, you know, that the apex court is more like the Supreme Court, you know, more like the ultimate, and there is no rule of law when it comes to what the president said and what the Supreme Court, or rather the apex court, the Supreme Court, yes, is saying actually. And so we saw people like the governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, give a statement on this particular, you know, issue. So we'll just take a listen to that video and then we'll come back.
I wish to assure you that none of you will lose the money you have in old notes. Let no artificial or illegal deadline frighten you. Whether you live in towns, villages, or in our isolated rural communities, do not feel stampeded to deposit your old notes into the banks. Hold on to them. Continue to use them as legal tender as ordered by the Supreme Court of Nigeria. No deadline can render them worthless, ever. The law is on your side. The Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2007 in Section 20, subsection 3, and the Bills of Exchange Act both oblige the Central Bank of Nigeria to recognize your old notes and give you value in new notes whenever you bring them to the CBN, even in the next 100 years. Therefore, as your governor, I wish to assure you that the Kaduna State government, in collaboration with elected legislators, our traditional institution, elected local government councils, markets and traders associations, and so on, will help you collect, record, document, collect and deliver all your old notes to the Kaduna branch of the Central Bank on your behalf into the new ones immediately after the elections. On behalf
of course, the lingering cash squeeze blamed on the Central Bank of Nigeria was further worsened by the declaration by President Muhammadu Buhari that the 1,500 notes had ceased to become legal tender as against the position of the Supreme Court. We now saw the president also directs that the CBN, like I said earlier, allow the 200 Naira recirculate and coexist with the new 200 Naira as well. But these directives did not sit well with a lot of people and a lot of APC governors as well. Now, you made mention of the fact that it's looking like, you know, it's just the APC governors, you know, that this is working against. But anyway, shortly after the president had addressed the nation and given his orders, governors Nasir El-Rufai, like we just saw in that video of Kaduna State, addressed his people and saying, look, the president was wrong in his position with respect to the cash swap issue. And then supporting the position taken also was Governor Abdullahi Ganduje of Kano State, and of course the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, on that as well. And both are members of APC. They also faulted the president's position on that issue. So we have a situation where
we've never seen a time like this in the country.
Exactly,
we have never seen it, where, you know, the Supreme Court is saying one thing, the president is saying one thing,
another thing.
Governors are giving different directives in their state. We have never had a time like this, so it's absolutely surprising. Like, and then we've been in communication with some people from other states, and they tell you, no, in our states we are using the money as it is. Now you're wondering, as this money is still circulating in this state, as, like, let's use Kaduna State for instance, what are they going to do at the end of the day? When would they be able to now repatriate, you know, the old Naira to the banks? Will the CBN get it? It's just really funny in this time that we're living in.
Yeah, seriously funny. And you know something that happened, it's always been something I wanted to say until I saw it on social media, where somebody had to use some sachet of detergent to go get food. the person did not
Trade
have
by barter.
Exactly. So we've come back to a position, the Stone Age, where we are beginning to exchange goods for goods because people do not even have the monies. And then let's take it even back to a Friday now, where we had a statement that the Central Bank of Nigeria was saying, okay, so you can actually go back and, you know, to deposit banks, commercial banks now, and return your old 1,500. And then the president also said, okay, the central bank is open for you to go return your monies. And then we'll take a video of how Nigerians thronged out in their numbers to go deposit their 1,500 naira old notes. Let's take a look at that.
Coming from Zaria, I saw someone that came from Zaria yesterday. This is my third day. This is my third day here. This is my third day here. And there's no progress to it at all. No progress to it. Then you now say you just vote somebody based on tribe. You vote somebody based on religion. You will not vote incompetent people, people that have the brains and they know how to do the right thing. Just see, look at people suffering. So I'm coming from Zaria. I saw someone that came from Zaria yesterday. This is my third day. This is my third day here. This is my third day here. And there's no progress to it at all. No progress to it.
Yeah, let's wrap up on this.
Then you now say...
This is a major issue as of now, because number one, the easy way out would be to jump and blame Nigerians for waiting till this time. But then again, let's be realistic. From the time that, you know, the whole benchmark was given, people were still transacting with this money, and we are seeing transacting to huge sums. You know, people are doing business, and if we even have videos and feeds where we see a lot of northerners turn out with large chunks of money. The people will also be asking, why did they have to wait till this last minute? But some of them transact on, you know, businesses that make them have that amount of money in quote, but there are other people who also had waited. Now, some of the people that you see on this queue are there to return their 10,000, their 20,000, their 4,000.
Like the one I have in my wallet.
Yesterday I was reading something and someone said, I just discovered 2,000 naira in the back pocket of my jean. So what is going to happen? It means I cannot use this money because it's no longer legal tender, and you can't just work into a commercial bank to return it, because the CBN says all returns must be made to the Central Bank of Nigeria. Now, can the Central Bank of Nigeria immediately address the thronging people coming to their banks? It is no. It means we are still going to spend another 1 to 2 months, you know,
trying to return old
notes. And another thing is, we really don't know who the people that have sat, you know, behind this policy are, because they didn't think it through. Every day I would keep on saying it, because now the Central Bank is saying, okay, come return your old notes to the Central Bank of Nigeria, and they slam Nigerians with a list of things you need to do to return the money. You know, you have to log yourself in online, you have to submit this, you have to submit just to return the money. A lot of people will just take the money home, let it waste, because where do you have the time? Okay, let's say you log in all of the process that they want you to online, you still have to go and stand for hours, if not days, you know, at a central bank in your state. Look at the one that was in Akwa Ibom. See the number of people that thronged out to CBN at Udodoma. The number was alarming, and like I said, it's not all of these people that are going to return hundreds of thousands of naira. I mean, I have a woman here in Ibiakuran who is a petty trader, and she's been crying that, you know, over the past few days when the days were extended, she was transacting and doing business with the old naira. Now she can't take the old naira to the market to buy new stock, and she can't take it to the bank to refund and get new naira, so that money is trapped. So a lot of Nigerians are in a really difficult position. At this point, we will just say, you know, economists around the country should lend a voice to the Central Bank of Nigeria. People sitting on this policy at the central bank should review the policy. They are too stringent. You've already put a lot of stringent measures before today, and you're asking, you know, you're introducing more stringent formulas for people to be able to return the money. It's just unacceptable. Now, last week there was fake news that circulated about, you know, the CBN opening up for Nigerians to be able to return their old Naira to commercial banks, and literally almost every media house fell for that, because it's like Nigerians are looking for anything that will bring respite to the situation. But we had the Central Bank of Nigeria, you know, through its governor Godwin Emefiele, come out and refute that particular report. But now they're even saying, if at all the central bank endorsed that should be done, it will ease off the, you know, the problem that we have at hand, seeing all of that amount of people standing in front of the banks. So we just people have asked, let the policy have a face, let it have a human face. At this point, it just seems like the central bank is interacting with robots in the country. Really
serious situations, I must say. But let's just hang it in there for that particular one. But still on the tail of the cash crunch and the many hardships that Nigerians are facing at this point, we saw yesterday where the president of the country, President Muhammadu Buhari, appealed to Nigerians now to exercise more patience. Buhari said he is fully aware of the hardship, noting that the policy is meant to improve Nigeria's economy. He said, and I quote, "I am appealing to you to exercise further patience as we take appropriate measures to ease these hardships. God willing, there will be light at the end of the tunnel," Buhari said in a video recording from Ethiopia, where he attended the just concluded African Union Summit. Now, his senior special assistant on media, Galber Shehu, revealed this in a statement he signed on Sunday titled, "In a video to sway voters for Tinubu, President Buhari vows to end the current hardship." So let's take a listen to this and hear what the president has to say on the matter from Ethiopia.
Hello Nigerians. God has once again brought us to another season of general elections across the country. I am therefore calling on all of you to exercise your franchise in a peaceful atmosphere. I am calling on specifically our traditional rulers, religious leaders, and parents to warn their followers and wards alike to not allow themselves to be used by a few to foment trouble. I want to assure you that the government has taken adequate security measures to allow everyone to come out and cast their votes. I am therefore appealing to everyone to give them the necessary support. Fellow Nigerians, I want to use this opportunity to once again thank you for electing me to be your president on 2 occasions. I am not a contestant in this election, but my party, the All Progressive Congress, has a candidate in the person of Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As I mentioned before, Tinubu is a true believer in Nigeria, who loves the people and the development of our country. I am calling on all of you to vote Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is reliable, and I trust he will build on our achievements. Finally, I want to once again assure you that I am fully aware of the current hardship you are facing as a result of some policies of the government which are meant to bring overall improvement to the country. I am appealing to you to exercise further patience as we take appropriate measures to ease these hardships. God will.
Yeah, of course, we've heard the president there, you know, solicit with Nigerians to temper justice with mercy, although the suffering is very intense.
Yeah.
I mean, he says he sees and he feels it, and they're working on measures to make sure that this is mitigated. But a lot of things there, twists and turns when it comes to the fact that we also heard the president in that particular speech endorse the presidential flag bearer of the APC, he's asked Nigerians to vote him so that he consolidates on the achievement of the APC government. And let's not forget that a few days back we also had him also emphasizing the thing he stands on. He had always said, let Nigerians vote their choice. So it's more like when we have the president say, let Nigerians vote their choice in one breath, and in the next breath he's saying, okay, let's vote for Tinubu because I believe he's credible. Don't you think that that is like getting in the way of what he actually stands for?
More like contradicting himself. And
yeah,
I've been one of the people that have said that, look, the president is not even supposed to be on anyone's side at this moment. He's supposed to be even neutral. Let's not even start to say that, oh, he's of the All Progressives.
Yeah, because that would be the next excuse. You can say him as the president of the Federal Republic, he's trying not to stand in support of anybody, but as a member of the All Progressives Congress going for campaigns with their flag bearer, he says that, you know, in every time, like he's
did he actually round up the 10 states he said he was going to be joining in the campaigns?
We don't think so, but he's actually tried a lot because of, I mean, look at his itinerary and all this other things.
But if we want to really look at the matter, right, he's shooting himself on the foot, because from the beginning he says that he wants to leave a legacy, and you cannot be leaving a legacy by telling Nigerians, come on, this is the right person, okay, so vote for this person. If you say you want to leave a legacy of a free, fair and credible elections, giving Nigerians the opportunity, you know, to vote for who they choose or who they want as the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, then you shouldn't be coming out to more like force it on Nigerians, this is the person you're supposed to vote for. That is not you leaving a legacy. That is you giving us your own preferred candidate, but then again, as the next president. It's not you leaving a legacy, because one, you're not in the minds of Nigerians to say that this is the person they actually want, okay, so why not just create that enabling environment for Nigerians to choose who they want to choose? And I give it to him. Very commendable. He has made sure that he has, you know, funded the INEC, which is the electoral umpire now, to the point that the elections can fly. But let's leave Nigerians, you know, to go to the polling booths and do the choicing themselves, and not necessarily saying that, okay, because the president has said that, you know, this is the most, you know, perfect or the most credible person, you know, we have to go with that.
But then again, we can actually excuse the president in terms of, even if he says, oh, I think, you know, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is someone that you can vote, he's not necessarily, now I think the way he has done it is that he's not actually like pushing it down its throat. Now let's be very honest, we've seen some state governors in the way they have gone about to tell you that this is the person that you should vote, and you can literally say they have shoved that person down the throat of their citizens. But we haven't necessarily seen President Muhammadu Buhari do that with Tinubu. He has just given like blanket statements, and you know, those statements, I don't think they're not that weighty to push Nigerians to go to the polling votes, you know, and just be, you know, and pushing down Tinubu to voting, but there is, like, you know, he has given room for us to still be able to make our choice, in spite of the fact that he keeps saying, okay, I think Bola Ahmed Tinubu is good, so that he consolidates on our, you know, achievements of the APC. I don't think he has shoved it down the throats of Nigerians, because it's not like everywhere you turn you hear President Muhammadu Buhari saying it's Tinubu. We've not seen him give that kind of weight behind the candidacy of Tinubu. So personally, I think he's doing what he should as a member of the APC, right? And then you know, just allowing that to go. So I think we should excuse him and allow, you know, Nigerians to vote whoever they want to vote for at this time. But then we'll just move to the news brief desk, where we have Mary Joseph on standby to bring us global news, and when we return, we'll be bringing you the rest of stories that we have on Rise and Shine. Of course, what is the church stand in the forthcoming elections? That's something you want to wait around and listen to, so do stay with us.
In the country, I'm appealing to you to exercise
As Nigeria prepares for the general elections holding from 25th February 2023, broadcasters are enjoined to make ethical reportage their watchword. All political programs shall observe the provisions of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code and other extant laws relating to broadcasting. All broadcasting stations must adhere to the principles of pluralism and ensure equitable airtime to all political parties or views. All political programs shall adhere to the general principles of legality, decency, and truthfulness. For the avoidance of doubt, the broadcast of a political campaign, jingle, announcement, or any other form of partisan party identification or symbol ends not later than 24 hours before polling day. Hate speech is prohibited. Be professional. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting. Announcer Management.
Government, Secretary General,
This was the Lagos voting for Spectrum TV to recover from the lapses in counting.
A very good morning to you and welcome to your morning news briefing Spectrum live from Uyo. I am Mary Joseph. We begin the news brief with President Muhammadu Buhari as he has appealed to Nigerians to exercise patience as appropriate measures were being taken to ease the hardship occasioned by the Naira redesign policy. In a statement issued by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, in a message sent home from Addis Ababa, Buhari said he was fully aware of the hardships some policies of the government, which were meant to bring overall improvement to the country, had caused, and appealed for more patience as the government took appropriate measures to ease them. President Buhari said despite the initial hardship in the implementation of the policy, there would be light at the end of the tunnel. Away from that, the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, has cautioned Nigerians traveling to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia without proper documentation as Saudi authorities have heightened a clampdown on irregular migrants. In a statement by NIDCOM, it said its attention had been drawn to a communication from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation on Saudi Arabian authorities intensifying the crackdown on undocumented foreigners in their country. Meanwhile, ahead of the February 25 presidential and National Assembly elections, the Nigerian Immigration Service (NIS) has redeployed 30 state comptrollers and 11 assistant comptroller generals across the country. This was disclosed in a statement issued by the Immigration Public Relations Officer Tony Akuneme. According to the NIS spokesman, the states affected were mainly those that bordered Nigeria with neighboring countries that include Yobe, Adamawa, Sokoto, Katsina, Zamfara, Oyo, Lagos, and Cross River states. On the foreign scene, the U.S. has formally determined that Russia had committed crimes against humanity in Ukraine. Speaking at the Munich Security Conference, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris accused Russia of gruesome acts of murder, torture, rape, and deportation since its invasion. On his part, Moscow ambassador to the U.S. rejected the claims and accused Harris of trying to demonize Russia. In sports, Marcus Rashford has scored twice to continue his hot streak and help Manchester United overcome Leicester in the Premier League. Rashford is in the form of his career and is leading United resurgence, taking his tally to 24 goals for the season with strike in each half of Old Trafford. That's all on our news brief this morning. We'll bring you details of this and more in our news at 12. I am Mary Joseph. Let's head back to Rise and Shine where we have Janice and Uyai on standby. Have a wonderful morning.
State and government, Secretary General, delegates.
This was the Lagos Nigeria today as we want to improve reporting lapses to county.
One truth not often told is about the transformation that Africa has undergone in recent decades. Africa is shaping its own destiny and should be referred to as the African opportunity. On Spotlight Africa, we paint the African picture the African way, laced with truth, detail, and the color of the African continent. Join Uyai Anyekan every Tuesday and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Spotlight Africa, telling the African story.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by President. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian police.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Ibro.
He did not.
My lord, the matters council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but we can't be talking about cases which are in court.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord. I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
Many thanks for still being there. Of course, Rise and Shine Daily continues on set, and we just came off the news brief desk where we had Mary Joseph give us some update on what's happening globally. And right back here, just a quick one on what we have discussed so far in case you're just joining us. We started off with our major stories, and where we talked about the fact that the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC, Abdullahi Adamu, decided to have a quick meeting, more like an emergency meeting now, with all APC state governors to talk about some of the issues, preluding the elections, the general elections. And off from that, we also had the president from Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, talk about the fact that Nigerians should be more patient in terms of the cash crunch and all that we are facing as a country at this critical point in our lives. And of course, he also re-endorsed the APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And then obviously still on set this morning, we'll still have a couple of conversations lined up for you, and at this point we'll go straight down to our Spotlight Dailies, where we get to tell you some of the major stories making it on the front page of a national daily. So it's up now for Spotlight Dailies.
Yes, Spotlight Dailies, Daily Spotlights. We'll start first with the Punch newspaper this morning. We'll take the Punch newspaper, and the very big story on the front page there says APC governors, bank CEOs in last-minute rush to clear Naira mess. 12 governors, APC chair want Emefiele Malami to obey Supreme Court order. Naira crisis has brought so much pain, Adamu laments. Ganduje Abiodun absent. Bank CEOs want old notes collection extended to avert protest attacks on branches. Buhari, Jonathan, others became president unprepared, says Kuka. Stock investors lose 281 billion naira in 1 week. INEC to get poll allocation from CBN on Tuesday. We have another story here that says vote for leader with capacity and character, says Bishop Oyedepo. We also have here Ogun woman set self ablaze over 70,000 naira debt. Khan laments Leah Sharibu's continued captivity. That's all the story that we have on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Okay, we also have here fuel queues may return as NNPCL depots run low. Okay, those are all the stories that we have on the front page of the Punch newspaper.
Okay, so of course, on the papers this morning, you want to be a part of our conversation, please do well to call the numbers that will be displayed on your TV screen. Let us know your thought as we discuss the papers this morning. But very quickly now, we go over to Daily Sun, and the Daily Sun says, the big story here says, pools, tension grips INEC over insecurity. And the writer of that story says, spate of violent protest raises fear among officials. Commission working with CBN, others to address cash challenge. Statement there by Yakubu. And we also have a story here that says, El-Rufai directs MDAs not to reject old Naira notes. And then the story says, presidency, Ayim Chimamanda endorse Obi. You have that story on page 6, 27 and 29 of Daily Sun. And the writer says, Labour Party candidate flays death of protesters in Edo, Delta, Oyo, others over Naira scarcity. Don't vote anointed presidential governorship candidates, ACF. And the writer says power shift undemocratic. You have that story on page 28 of Daily Sun. Some government policies hard, Buhari admits, and appeals for patience as the rider. You have that story on page 29 of the Daily Sun. PSC appoints zonal state coordinators to monitor police conduct. Page 4 is where you get that story. UK court accepts to shield star witness Mwanimi as Ekweremadu's trial resumes. You have that story on page 4. Guild of Editors urges INEC, security agencies, others not to disappoint Nigerians. And the writer says, ask journalists to be professional in reporting pools. You have that story on page 26 of the Daily Sun. Another story here says, Naira swap, I beg your pardon, APC governors tackle Buhari. And the writer says, ask President AGF to obey Supreme Court order. Page 6 is where you find that story. Look out for new moon for Sha'aban Sultan. Okay. And then this one says, PDP knocks Tinubu, claims it doesn't represent hope. And then the writer says, Atiku will wipe out tears of Southeast, obviously from their campaign. You can find that story on page 27. Of course, this gives room for more conversations we'll be having later on the show, as we have the PCC presidential, I think, spokesman or so join us later on as our guest on the show. There's always been that knocking, is either PDP is knocking APC or APC is knocking PDP. But there's a knocking somewhere. There's always a knocking and all of that. And according to them, Tinubu does not represent the hope that he claims. And more like Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is the anointed one that is coming to, wipe away the tears from all of Nigerians' faces, and all of that. But again, okay, I've taken the story where El-Rufai is directing MDAs not to reject old notes, old Naira notes, and all of that. So those are just the stories on the front page of Daily Sun this morning. Join the conversation. Let us know your thoughts. How is it in your area as we speak? Is the cash crunch easing off? Are you okay where you are? Please call us on the phone line being displayed on your TV screen right now.
I think another story of concern is that of the NNPCL, where we have that there is worry that queues are going to resurface again at filling stations because the NNPCL depots are running low on the commodity, and that's just a problem. It feels like the cash crunch conversation has really doused that of the fuel scarcity. But okay, hello, good morning, what's your name and where are you calling from? We lost that call. Please, would like to encourage you, when you call, turn down the volume of your television set so that we can hear you to avoid the holdback. And if you try and you can't reach us because the phone lines are jammed, do well to send us WhatsApp or text messages and we'll sort all of that out this morning. So I was saying the issue of NNPCL, right? Okay, we have a call. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good
Yes,
morning.
what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, I'm Emmanuel calling from Ibadan.
Emmanuel from Ibadan, go ahead with your take this morning.
Yeah, well, all I know is that all will be well. And that's what I want to just say. All will be well because we are all tired. As I'm speaking to you now, I only have 100 Naira left. And I've been to bank this morning. There's no hope that we will get anything from the bank. So I'm so surprised that the APC or MEP could not obey the Supreme Court. I don't know where we are heading to. Everywhere now is hot in Ibadan. So we don't know what to do.
I hope there are no protests or riots over there.
Yeah, there was riot on Friday. So on Friday in Ibadan. So we just don't know. We just don't know what we want to do now.
All right.
We are praying for that God should just have His way.
All right.
Because we are tired.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Your point is taken. Thank you so much for your
But we also hope that this is not getting in the way of your decision, to vote on Saturday. Emmanuel, are you still there? Okay. I hope that this is not getting in the way of your decision to vote on Saturday.
I can't hear you well. You said what?
Okay, are you going to go out and vote on Saturday in spite of the realities on ground?
I will.
Okay. And I hope you encourage.
I don't need to vote before, but this time I will go out and vote.
And we hope that you encourage others around you to do the same, because that's the only way we can change the narrative.
Go out and vote the right person. Enough is enough.
All right. Thank you very much, Emmanuel.
Thank you very
for
much,
your thoughts.
Emmanuel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's for now. That is just one way we can handle the whole issue. But then again, Janice, I'm thinking now we have a lot of analysts that have said this policy in itself is not wrong. There is nothing wrong with the policy. We've had the president also stand in his honor in the office to defend this cause. Don't you think that maybe Nigerians should just calm down and follow the process? Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay. I'm Mr. Promise. I'm calling from Rivers State.
Okay, Mr. Promise, go ahead with your opinion.
All my life in Nigeria, this is the first time I'm doing and as long as Nigeria is concerned. I forget it.
Yes, we are.
Go ahead. Okay, so I think control. I think we're having challenges. The call is a little bit muffled up, and we can have that smooth conversation. So we just have to drop that call.
Okay, I think maybe
your line is a little bit muffled up, so we cannot hear you properly. Okay, maybe you can just drop the call and then call us back, and then maybe that will be sorted out. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Yeah, but then I must appreciate him. I think one thing Emmanuel was saying, he was commending Rise and Shine and commending the work that we do here. So Emmanuel, I know that if we do not hear the rest of what we said, we heard that, and we do appreciate you. And I know you said, you've never lived in a time in Nigeria where you've seen this kind of thing happen before. It's a reality that we are facing on ground, and Nigerians are really, really concerned. But like we were saying, the best bet for us to change the tide so that we do not have this experience again is for all of us to go out en masse and vote on Saturday during the presidential elections and the Senate elections come this Saturday, the House of Assembly elections on Saturday. I think that's our best bet to make sure that we put a person there that we can hold accountable when these kinds of things happen.
Okay, let's take this other call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling us from, please?
My name is Tony. I'm calling from Benue.
Good news?
Tony calling from Benue State.
Okay, Tony, all the way from Benue. Go ahead, Tony. What's your take? What's your contribution?
Okay, I think this policy is quite unfortunate. They are telling us that they are trying to control both vote buying. Now, why can't EFCC go after those people that they say they have money in their houses to buy votes? Because common man in the street, ordinary trader in the market, they are suffering. There are some people that can't collect, when you want to transfer money, they can't collect it. So why punishing people when you know those people that hold money in their house? It's quite unfortunate. But what I'm appealing to people is, let us come out and vote. Let us not do the same thing that we'll be doing, that we say this person belongs to this religion, I must vote him. This person belongs to my tribe, I must vote him. We know the two candidates that are on the ground that are ready to deliver. If Nigeria means it this time around, it means that we are going to suffer for another 8 years. And we don't pray for that.
All right. Thank you very much for your thought. Thank you so much, and good morning as well. Okay, so serious concerns there. I like the fact that Nigerians, like you said, are, pumped up.
Yeah.
For Saturday, which is the 25th of February, where we are going to be having the presidential and senatorial elections as well. So more like nothing is going to deter us, from coming out en masse to come and do what is constitutionally right, and that is to vote who we choose, to succeed President Muhammadu Buhari. And,
you were going to say something about vote buying during the polls, because that's something that eventually, at the beginning, there were just speculations. But we've even had the president in his speech come out to say, this is part of the reasons why we have this policy in place. And if we say that the president, has continued to say we need to give a free and fair election, right, as his legacy for the country before he leaves, I think at the end of the day, we might also think, let's look at this from another prism.
Okay,
why don't we suffer
but while
now?
we're trying to look at it, let's just, take this call. Hello?
Hello, good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you too?
I'm fine.
Okay, what's your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm Mr. Baridan, calling from Niger State.
Okay,
from
Mr.
Niger State,
Baridan.
Okay, good.
Baridan sounds like a River State name. That's Ogoni.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm from River State.
Okay, fantastic. Go ahead.
So, I'm talking about the issue of Naira scarcity in the country, a policy that is like now I am in the north. I'm supposed to travel to River State for the vote, but I cannot because there's no card. So what I mean is this. This is not the first time they are trying to design or introduce new laws. But the way they handle it is what causes this problem. If you are trying to make sure politicians do not have enough money to buy votes, there's a way you go about it. You don't need to suffer over 200 million people because of few people. So this policy that put people to suffer because of very few people, I believe the implementation is very wrong. They don't consider people. They don't even have the capacity to handle what they have in mind. And that is why we are suffering now. We have EFCC, we have other agencies. In case these people, you call them politicians, that they have money to buy votes, you can think of how you can freeze in their account within this period. After this period, you open it for them so that they don't have access to buy votes. You allow the masses to go about their business. But now the entire country is on siege because of this. You can't buy anything, you can't do anything, and we are just keeping quiet watching these people who don't have capacity to keep on destroying us. I believe it's wrong. It's very, very wrong.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Right,
very
thank
much.
you
We
so
see
much.
you, we hear you. Thank you very much for giving me
Yeah,
contribution.
that was
something
quite
we raised
some
earlier.
anger being unleashed there by Mr. Baridon. You could hear it from his, voice and all of that. So he's coming from a different angle.
And that's something we had raised earlier. People who would like to travel, people who would need to travel from other parts of the country back to their home base just to be able to travel.
Yeah.
This money, issue can actually get in the way. But now, if the president has said, let us recirculate the 200 Naira notes, Janice, if we have that order being obeyed by the Central Bank of Nigeria and commercial banks, at least people will be able to go to their banks and check out 20,000-30,000 Naira paid to them in that denomination to be able, to travel, make their trips just to be able to vote. Because we were saying last week, it's not about giving the order. Let's see the money circulate for real in the country. Because like I was going to say earlier, between Thursday and today that the president gave the order, we have not seen any difference in the money crunch. We've not seen people being able to go to the ATM and withdraw, or POS agents. We are even hearing now, because arrests have started being made, POS agents are not even opening anymore. So it's a major issue on our hand.
Yeah.
All right. Hello. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling us from? Hello. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling
Christopher. My name is Christopher, calling from Oren, Ondo State.
Please, can you turn down the volume of your television set? Thank you. Turn it down, please.
You see, this cashless policy of a team. Okay, let me do that. You see, it's a bad idea.
Okay.
In fact, to me here now, I'm present. I don't move to anywhere because I have no cash. This man is really suffering this country. In fact, what I can recall, India introduced this policy 2 years ago, and they suffered it for good 2 years. It's unlike Nigerians. What have we? How many Nigerians are in the banking system that will make Emefiele and Buhari to introduce this cashless policy? Can't they think of those in the rural areas? Yeah? You see, in fact, I have much to say, but this air talk, let me just end here.
All right,
please, let us appeal to this man, Buhari, to revert his idea. In fact, that yes, let this old and new notes coexist. Let us use it. I know that we need us to come the election, to curb corruption in the election, but that does not. The politicians, they've done what they want to do. They have the cash at home. That the dollar that is used to suffer with poor masses. So please, let this man reverse his idea.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
For your call,
I know that there are some people that are of the opinion, that the benefit or the idea of this particular money policy, by Godwin Emefiele and the federal government have been forfeited, because there's been some connivance, between commercial banks and even the politicians, where people are saying that, or the idea of curbing vote buying has been forfeited, because when you look at the connivance, I'm not saying that there is connivance, but these are Nigerians, saying that there are such connivances, so the monies, the politicians that the CBN governor is even saying they shouldn't, have a lot of money so that they do not, get involved in vote buying, are even the ones that have the new Naira notes. So you have situations where Nigerians are complaining that these monies are being packed in bags and given to politicians. So what's the main idea now? The idea behind even the money policy has been forfeited.
So are we really honest that these politicians still do not have access to the new Naira
notes? Are we that honest with ourselves? It's not true, because you have party spenders having these monies.
What stops politicians from having it?
Yes, what stops politicians from having it? So let's just take this call. Hello. Hello, can you hear us? Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Chris. I'm calling you from Kaduna.
Okay, Chris from Kaduna. Please go ahead.
Yes. This, what I want to say is that this policy they brought, Buhari and the CBN, it's a very good policy. The way they went about it is very wrong. Number one, Buhari did it some time ago when he was in power. What they did was, if you have 1 million, you bring 1 million to the bank will give you 400,000 credit to your account. Then the money keep on circulating like that. For this one, the same government in power, all the governors looted our money, them in cash. Now, the same government, they are fighting themselves, crying now. The governors who are supposed to be yelling out are the ones crying that this policy is bad. So let them face the the wrath of the people, because they are the ones suffering. Nigerians now, the innocent ones are suffering. The ones that haven't got this money. When you go to ATM, somebody will withdraw 3,000, somebody will withdraw 5,000. But they themselves, they can never withdraw 3,000 or 10,000. They're withdrawing money that's even more than what you can put in the ATM. So they carry all this money and put it in their house and said on the name of what do you call it? Security vote. You carry the cash and put it there in the name of security vote. So the suffering Nigerians are suffering. All I'm begging Nigerians, go and get your PVC. In your PVC, vote your conscience. Put out this government that we have been suffering since. No fuel, no money, no pain, no water, all hardship. Food are high. Please, this government isn't prepared. Please. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your call. He started by commending the fact that the policy is a good one, but the system of implementation has been poor so far. And now, everyday Nigerians are the ones suffering under the brunt. But we've also had arguments where we've seen the APC governors really come out en masse to fight this, and people are wondering, why is it just the APC government that are really strong behind this? And I mean, our last caller just talked about the fact that most of these monies that were hoarded outside the votes of the CBN were done by this political elite. So how come they are the ones still crying foul? Why exactly is this also pinching? Because it's also unfair for Nigerians to think it's just everyday Nigerians that are suffering. Now even these political elites, they do not necessarily have access to the money as much as they would want to have. And the fact that the president has stood on the fact that 1,000 naira and 500 naira, the old notes are no longer legal tender. Even if they still have that money stashed up somewhere in the vault, in their office or in their home, it means they cannot use that money to be able to perpetrate any kinds of transaction whatsoever. So at this time, it's holding the country to ransom on all levels, both politically and economically, for everybody.
Still leaning on what you just said, it now looks as if, why is the PDP not complaining? Why is the Labour Party not complaining? Why is the NNPP and all other why is it just APC? Why is it just APC governors that are crying? I think that's a big question, and definitely we'll be talking more about it tomorrow, because I really want to know why it is. Now, aside from even Nigerians, the common Nigerians falling seriously under the weight of all that is happening, the people that are crying foul the most are the APC governors. So does it mean that they are stashing monies to actually do a lot of vote buying or otherwise, or is it that other parties are feeling the crunch but are just keeping quiet and not just talking about it, so that it now looks as if it's a political tool right now against the All Progressives Congress? Anyways, at this point, we just take a breather and try to see how we can connect with our guest to have another series of conversations, of course, looking at the PDP and their chances at the 2023 polls. So we take this breather, and when we come back, we have that conversation, or we still open up the phone line so that you Nigerians can still be a part of our conversations. Let's not also forget that the church is also trying to push for their candidates. Now, there's always been that belief that the church should stay neutral when it comes to politics. But then, can you take politics out of the church in reality? So these and more we'll be bringing you when we come back from this break. Just stay with us.
As Nigeria prepares for the general elections holding from 25th February 2023, broadcasters are enjoined to make ethical reportage their watchword. All political programs shall observe the provisions of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code and other extant laws relating to broadcasting. All broadcasting stations must adhere to the principles of pluralism and ensure equitable airtime to all political parties or views. All political programs shall adhere to the general principles of legality, decency, and truthfulness. For the avoidance of doubt, the broadcast of a political campaign, jingle, announcement, or any other form of partisan party identification or symbol ends not later than 24 hours before polling day. Hate speech is prohibited. Be professional. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting. Announcer, management.
Welcome back. This is Rise and Shine, and we're coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa State, Nigeria. Money scarcity biting deeply into the fabric of a nation 5 days to the general elections. Who is the media advisor, PDP Presidential Campaign Council? But once again, he's not showing up this morning, and we hope that maybe sometime they peep into the stance of the People's Democratic Party towards the general elections. But then again, we have a conversation that we need you to be involved in. We've seen several church leaders in recent weeks give endorsement of different political presidential candidates across different parties, and top of which we have the founder of the Living Faith Church, aka Winners Chapel, Bishop David Oyedepo. Now, the big question is, should the church be involved in politics, and what kind of impact do you think that this has at all, on the church? For the longest time, we've had, there's always been the accusation of the church is only praying.
Yes.
The church is always praying. Let's go beyond praying and let's come out and do something else. But at this time, we've seen that the church is praying, the church is advising, the church is endorsing. Like I was saying, earlier, I've said we've never seen a time in the history of Nigeria where we've seen church leaders vehemently and boldly come out clearly as to this is the person we are backing. Other times, it's always been like, maybe prophecies or a political a presidential candidates going to them for prayers. We've never seen a situation where we see different pastors from different denominations endorse a presidential candidate and be like, this is my person or this is not my person. But that body language has changed over the past few weeks. We've seen the church step up on the political conversation stronger than ever before. So this is the question: what's your take on that? What do you think as a Nigerian? Should the church, we really have people that are like, no, the church should not be involved in politics, let's step aside?
Yeah.
What should it really be?
Yeah, these are questions that we're asking Nigerians at this point. So the phone line is open again for you to be part and parcel of this conversation. Do you think that the church should be involved in politics, or do you think that it's right for a man of God, a pastor, a CEO of a church to come out and boldly say, this is who I support, and I want my household, me, my wife, my children, and all members of my church to actually support and vote for this particular person? Lots of questions. We've seen just yesterday we saw the pastor, the lead pastor now of what's this church, Christ Embassy, endorse a particular candidate. Yes, presidential candidate. We saw Apostle Johnson Suleiman. Also, he was like, if you love me, I, my wife, my children, and every other person should vote for this particular candidate. Okay, we have a call. Let's just take that call before we delve into the matter properly. Hello, good morning.
Yes, hello, good morning. My name is Nathaniel, and I'm calling from Lagos.
Okay, Nathaniel from Lagos. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Show Rise and Shine this morning.
Yeah, I hope you're rising and you're shining.
Yes, by the grace of God. And you guys are looking so beautiful on the stage.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, we all know that Nigeria has for so long been under the rulership and leadership of people who don't really give a damn about what the people are going through and anything happening to anybody, just because the constitution allows them to enjoy some certain benefits and rights and then some coverages. And the church has been so silent about this for a very long time. But you get to discover that the yearnings and then the aspirations of the people has grown beyond the church just keeping quiet. For the sake of the truth, Christianity dominates more of other religions in this country. We just have to face that fact. But many times they just want to share that fact away and put it aside. And that has made a lot of Christians not to be so willing to join politics. But the truth is that, let me not just cut it short. The truth is that this time around, Christians are all out, pastors are all out to make sure that the people take part in politics. If we don't take part in politics, for crying out loud sake, anybody that is there is going to make some decisions and then take some decision that is either affecting us negatively or positively. But when we are part of it in politics, we too will contribute to whatever decision that is going to be taken. if you want to take a decision that is going to affect a Christian and a Christian is there, you don't expect him to keep quiet. For crying out loud, you say, look, for sake of peace, and for sake of this thing to work well, or go well with everybody and carry everybody along, let us look at this, let us consider this. But if you are not there, if we are not there, how do we help and chip in anything that is going to affect, going to be given to us as a constitution, or something that is going to give it to us as way to follow? So that is why these pastors are this time around, they are speaking of telling their members without mixing words, go and vote for this candidate. This candidate is the person I've seen that is most credible. Vote for this person. There's nothing bad about it.
Okay. Thank
We
you
are
very
all
much,
in this
Nathaniel.
earth, and the earth belongs to the Lord.
Thank you very much, Nathaniel. Now let's even get back to the let's give this background so that we can put it all together. Now the founder and senior pastor of the Living Faith Church, aka Winners Chapel, Bishop David Oyedepo, has urged Nigerians to vote leaders with capacity and character ahead of Saturday's presidential election. Addressing worshippers during a sermon on Sunday at the Winners Chapel, Oyedepo advised the electorate to vote wisely. According to him, Nigeria is not an entity or property, but a people who are not for sale. His words, I am for the peace and stability of Nigeria. Nigeria is not for sale. We are not an entity or property. We are a people and we are not for sale. Now let's give voice to this video where we hear him speaking.
This church, I'm not talking about party. I would never practice in my life. Never that I attend a party meeting for what? To do what? I'm for the peace and stability of Nigeria. Nigeria is not for sale. Nigeria is not for sale. We are not an entity, we are a people. We are a people, we are not for sale. You don't have to be a billionaire to be a president. No, you need capacity. You need character. My God. And we have them in every part of the country. Every part. Why do you go with your second 11 when you have the first 11 in place? You have lost the match. You have lost the match. So please understand what I'm talking about. Amen. I have my sons who are founders of parties. Who founded parties. I mean, we're not talking about party. Anybody is free to join a party, but if you don't join the webbing of Nigeria, you are a problem. Let's look out for the well-being of this nation. Let's stop hovering around the same nonsense every time. May we never see the affliction we have seen the last 8 years again. Otherwise, there may not be a country again. There may not be a country again. Can this suffering continue like this? Till the last minute? To get cash to support some things this morning, my account couldn't get it. In Nigeria? In your country? It's over. We also posted on the website the declaration to be making. Please go back there again and be making it every day, every morning. This week is a decisive week. It will determine what happens to the remaining part of the week. Amen. Praise God. Can I tell you something? Nobody has ever put words in my mouth till date in my walk with God. I don't have media aids. My media has come to church. You hear what the Holy Ghost is saying for.
Yeah, the issue is actually biting everybody. At the end of the day, the high and mighty in the society is touched by it. If you get to the bank and the bank says there is no money, it means that there is no money whether you are high or you are low. But this is a very big conversation that we have on our hands.
Yes.
Now the risk for you to think, okay, it's not a religious thing. It's not we are not trying to cut across different religions at this time. We take cognizance of the fact that in Nigeria, we have people practicing different kinds of religion. But we are saying one of the arguments that has trailed politics for the longest time is that the church should stay away from politics. People have argued that for the longest time. And we've also seen church leaders attempt to live by that unspoken rule, to not be directly involved with politics. But we see that has changed because of the place that we find ourselves as a country. Okay, let's take this particular call and then we'll get right back into it. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Please turn down the volume of your television sets. Please.
Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from? Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. The conversation this morning is a very great one.
What's your name, please? What's your name?
My name is Godsway. I'm calling from Ikeja, Lagos.
Okay, fantastic. Go ahead, please.
Yes. You see, the exclusion of Christianity from politics is a serious problem. The first question I want to ask everyone is, the people in the church are Nigerian?
Big question.
Is the pastor a Nigerian? Does decisions made by the federal government affect the people in the church and the pastor? There is no way you can exclude the church from politics. The church is the mind of God. The church is the eyes of God. For the past 8 years, we have suffered. Why? We needed a man to rule us on our own, and God released that man for us, which is Buhari. We have suffered for 8 years. Now God wants to release a man after his heart for us. Where do you think that can get the mind of God? Is it the man in the darkness, the one working with you that will get the mind of God from? No. The mind of God could only be released to the men of God that carry the light. And if the mind of God has been released to them, and God is saying, this is what I wanted, who will communicate the mind of God to the people if the pastors will shut up? Can you see the blindness the devil is taking through so that the wickedness will continue? This time every python will die. They will not enter the throne. Pythons will not enter the throne.
All right, thank you very much, Gospel.
People who will sell this nation will not enter there.
Thank you so much.
Vote will not enter there.
Thank you.
There is a mind of God that is ahead of time right now.
Thank you so
and
much.
And we are working with the mind of God. And the pastors are the ones speaking the mind of God. Let the pastor stop.
All right, thank you. That's all we can take for your call. That's all we can take for your call at this time. Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution this morning. So, like he rightly said, you know, the church is made up of Nigerians who are covered by the constitution of the country, and there is a higher percentage, if we're going to put it by percentage, Christians, Muslims, pagans. There is a higher percentage of Christians in the country. It therefore means that any law, any policy that is made is going to cover.
If he's saying that there's a higher percentage, how did he come by the statistics? So we can't possibly say that there's a higher percentage.
No, I mean, but in the country we have more Christians than we have other religions. Even if we're going to percentage it, we have more Christians in the country than we would have other religions. We are not saying that there's no room for other religions, but we are saying that when you make, you know, policies and things in the constitution, it covers all Nigerians, whether we are Christians,
I think we're basically first Nigerians before we even say we are of any form of religion.
So when you say that the church cannot be involved in politics, you're saying that people who choose the religious belief of Christianity cannot have a say in the politics of their country because of the religion they chose. Do you understand? Now, even if you want to say that, okay, should religion have a place in politics?
I think, you know, giving this some form of background, I think the church has always been of the fact that politics is a dirty game. And so before now, you find out that a lot of people just stay away from politics, not involving in it, okay, and not even trying to like want to, you know, vie for positions of leadership, because according to them it's a dirty game. But we're seeing that narrative change now. We're seeing pastors, you know, come out openly to either endorse or even have members, you know, that are also vying for positions. So that has changed a whole lot, but it's still a question we are asking Nigerians. And at this point, of course, we still have our phone lines open for you to be part and parcel of this conversation. Does the church necessarily, you know, have to be part and parcel of politics? Do we need our leaders or church leaders now, you know, coming out to say this is who you're supposed to vote for? Let's take this call.
Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning. Tony calling back from Benue State.
From Benue State. Okay. Go ahead with your thoughts, please. Tony, okay.
We should be careful because there will be Nigeria after 2023 election. Religious leaders should not be directly involved in politics. We have a way of communication. because these are the people that if they speak, their talk matters. So bringing yourself and coming out in television and speaking some certain things, to me, is not the best idea. Remember, these are people that have just spoken to people through church program. In 2015, he said it clear that if you don't, any of his members that did not vote for Jonathan, good luck Jonathan, the gate of hell will be open for the church member. It's not good for the religious leader. Other religious groups, they have a way of communicating, and you don't hear them talk.
Okay.
All these religious leaders, they have pastors in their church. It's very easy for church to communicate if you want to do positive things, not directly.
All right,
thank you and good morning.
All right, thank you, Tony. Thank you
so
for
much,
calling
Tony.
back again and sharing your thoughts. I wanted to do a quick run back to Bible history. You know, when we're talking about how, you know, the church's involvement in politics, whether or not that should happen, we see that in the olden days, it was always the prophets that will go and anoint who is going to be king. We saw Samuel do that. We saw Nathan do that. You know, Bible history always, you know, put the church over politics. The church was not under politics. The church has always been over politics. You know, the government of the day ran back to the priest to ask how they should go. There is a war coming from so and so nation. The church, the priest, do you think we can go or we should step back? So whatever.
So more like the church should be like an advisory body.
Exactly. So we can't say that
leaders.
the church should be far away. The voice of the church leader should not be heard.
But what we are saying is different. Okay, let's just take this call. What we are saying is quite different. Okay, church leaders are coming out vehemently now to say this is what you're supposed to vote for. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Please, can you do us a favor and turn down the volume of your television sets?
Good morning. Turn down the volume of your television set and then go ahead to speak. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Austin. I'm calling from Kano.
Okay, Austin from Kano. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, what I'm trying to say is this. The pastors and clergy, reverends, and from other churches and different kind of world denomination. Yes, we are supposed to be involved in politics because really what is happening in this country it's nothing to write home about. It's affecting everybody. Just think about this cashless policy in kind of situation like this. A country a country is not run like this. Let's be sincere about it. Nigeria is turning to something else. It's becoming a jungle, not a country any longer. So I think the pastors and the clergymen they have to speak up because they have to speak up because they are our mouthpiece. Without them, we
Okay, I think
exactly that's so that's just it.
All right, thank you very much.
The church is really involved in politics. We have to be involved in politics this time around. We have to be involved.
All right,
thank
you so much, Austin from Lagos.
He reminds me of the fact that so that the church and church members should not be like sheep without shepherd. When all the Christians, that's why we have bodies like CAN and PFN. You know, they offer an opportunity for a unified body of the Christians to come out and speak. And like one of our callers said, even our Muslim faithfuls, our Muslim brothers have a way they are communicating these things. So we cannot even say that it is only Christian clergymen that are communicating.
Yes.
The imams are communicating. Maybe we do not have their communications trending on social media or on television, but let us be sure that in the current day polity that we are playing, even the imams in our nation are speaking very loudly to their congregations.
Yeah, definitely.
Clergymen across all faiths right now are not keeping quiet.
Definitely. Let's take this call. Hello, who's on the line? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling us from, please?
Yeah, Evangelist Gospel from Benue State.
Oh, an evangelist. Okay, go ahead, please. Please keep it keep it very simple. Keep it very simple and without any inciting words, please.
Okay, thank you. This issue of the church not involved in politics has really brought us where we are today, because I don't know, for whatever reason, we have been psyched to be at the side of the road, and today it's obvious that if you are not in one cult or the other, you don't fear for a political position and get through, because the church before now felt is a dirty game. And at the end of the day, the dirty people take over the affairs of the nation. And here we are. So to say the church should not be involved in politics is to say, let the church that is the light promote darkness. And all of us were doomed forever. Now, the issue before us is this. The church, play your spiritual role and play your physical role. We saw in the scripture, John 10:10, the Bible says, I have come that ye may have life and have it abundant. It has to do with the spirit and the body. So to me, the new wave that is coming, I think is a good one. And then the other side, some people are saying that our other brothers, they are so clear with their own. How do they do it? The religion and their own politics go hand in hand. So please, let no person think that there's going to be problem. No, there won't be any problem. We have the right, equal right to express our faith and what we should be as a citizen of this nation. So I want to be of the opinion, the church should be in politics, and let us do a clean politics. See what is happening. But the church is not fighting, it's just airing at you and say, let this thing be this. No of the pastor have told his member, go and carry gun. No.
All right, thank you very much.
Sensitization and saying that let us be involved because of stability, progress, and orderliness. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Evangelist.
Yes.
I think that's like the bottom line. Nobody is saying go carry arms, go carry clubs, go carry machetes, and all of that. We're saying, look, vote for who your conscience is, you know, applying to, and all of that. But yeah, it's still a big question.
It's a sensitization of some sorts that is going on, and I like what the evangelist said. You know, somehow we'll always find out that our Muslim brothers carry their faith and their politics together. We've never had a conversation of them trying to divide it. It's always been the Christians trying to divide it, and the explanation has been given. We've always felt we are too clean for this politics, but now it's like you can't be a cleaning agent and be afraid of dirt. You better get in there and get the system cleaned up if you think that that's the problem. So, and like, you know, Evangelist also said, we are getting into a political move where we see that the church and government and politics become one again, and I think that that's a good one. All right, let's take this other call. Nigerians have the floor this morning. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning. I'm still Mr. Barida. I'm calling from Niger State.
Niger State,
I take interest in this church and politics.
All right.
Because for the first time in this part of the country, the Christians, they always believe politics is a dirty game. They were avoiding politics. Then the other people take over the politics, use it, grab the power, grab the resources, and oppress them. But this very period, they preach politics even on the pulpit. So there's small change compared to what they used to do before. Some people are now saying there's another version of the Bible that says if the righteous are not
if the righteous is on the throne,
if the righteous are not there, the people
will suffer.
Cry.
Yes.
So they are bringing this type of preaching now. And now they are trying to say, because they have been oppressed because of the way they have been practicing their religion before now. So they are trying to, let's see what they can do to take over. So it's good they should preach politics in church, because we need to be in charge, not only others. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think that would just be the last call for this morning. We need to wrap up on this and then take a quick break. And then when we come back, we do all the things that we have to do on Rise and Shine. Of course, our tidbit segment is still there.
But a Christian is not inoculated from the things that happen in this country. And that scripture that last caller just quoted was something I really wanted to, talk about. If the righteous be on the throne, the people will enjoy. If not, the people will suffer. Now, the righteous is not necessarily necessarily talking about a Christian or not, but someone who we're talking about capacity. We are talking about
somebody
character.
that has the interest of Nigerians
it's not faith. It's not necessarily the faith, whether you're Christian or Muslim. We're talking character. We're talking virtue. We're talking capacity. If you are righteous with those virtues, you will sit on the throne and Nigerians will enjoy. But if you are unrighteous with a bad character, with bad history, Nigerians will suffer. So these are the things we are talking about at this point. And we're just saying election is in 5 days. If your conscience is, has picked someone with the virtues of righteousness in terms of capacity, capability, willingness, love for nation building, then you should go ahead and vote for that person in the coming elections. At this time, we cannot keep separating our faith from our politics, because either way we are affected by the results coming from the throne. But let's take a very quick break, and when we return,
before we even take that break, we'd like to say a very big thank you to all those that called in. I'd like to mention your names one after the other. Of course, Emmanuel from Ibadan. We also have who from River State. Now we had who. Okay, so we had also Tony from Benue State. We had Christopher from Warri.
We had Chris from Kaduna.
Yes.
We had Nathaniel with the very elated voice from Lagos. We
Godswill
had
from Kano.
Yeah, we had Godswill from Lagos.
Okay, Lagos.
We had the evangelist from Benue State.
Yes.
We had Austin from where did Austin call us from? Austin called us from Kano.
Kano.
Yes, so it's a widespread thank you to everyone. But we've never had our ladies
Baridon, yes, the Ogoni man. I know that name.
Yeah. But we've never had the women calling this. Let's not raise another conversation, women and politics. We've handled church and politics today. Let's not handle women and politics. Because we are the ones selling in the marketplaces the most, and it's biting on us. So we should make contributions to political conversations. And we've continued to say, even with 35% affirmative, we've not seen women rise to the occasion. It shows from things like this. So it's still the men that are running the conversation and the women are just sitting back. But we can see when the men make these policies and this decision, it bites on all of us.
Yeah, definitely bites on everybody. But thank you so much for being a part of our show. Of course, we cannot sit here without you at the other side. So we'll take a quick breather now, and when we come back, we'll be bringing you the concluding part of Rise and Shine Daily on a Monday morning, and that will be a tidbits. Let's take a break now. We'll be right back.
As Nigeria prepares for the general elections holding from 25th February 2023, broadcasters are enjoined to make ethical reportage their watchword. All political programs shall observe the provisions of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code and other extant laws relating to broadcasting. All broadcasting stations must adhere to the principles of pluralism and ensure equitable airtime to all political parties or views. All political programs shall adhere to the general principles of legality, decency, and truthfulness. For the avoidance of doubt, the broadcast of a political campaign, jingle, announcement, or any other form of partisan party identification or symbol ends not later than 24 hours before polling day. Hate speech is prohibited. Be professional. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting. Announcer Management.
Welcome back. Of course, it's Rise and Shine, and it's the concluding part. We are here to just sit down. We've had very serious conversations this morning on things happening. We also want to appreciate Emmanuel from Abuja, who sent his message.
Sent a message.
Of course, he's pushing for the unity of faith in politics.
Yes.
And that's very important at this time. We
unity in the body of Christ. So whatever church you shouldn't be divided even between church lines. I am of this faith.
If the voice is speaking, if the church is speaking, let's speak with one voice. Yeah, we appreciate your message this morning. At this point, we're going to go straight to our tidbit segment, and we're going to start with Did You Know? Waters Rand.
Yes, that's
South
where
Africa.
Almost half of the gold in the whole world comes from. That means South Africa is pretty rich, you know.
It means to be richer than what they are, you mean? Yeah. Because like Africa is so blessed with natural resources, but we have not tapped and explored it so much that it returns value for the kinds of gifts we have. All right, so let's take our
health tips. Yes. Hunger is the first element of self-control, not the kind of hunger Nigerians are facing right now. Literally, some people were shaking last week, Friday and Thursday, where there was no food anywhere because we couldn't get access to money, you know, and all of that. But again, hunger is like the first, you know, step to self-discipline.
If you can conquer your appetite,
yes, if you can conquer your appetite, you can conquer anything else. So that's just our health tip for this morning. Very quickly now, okay, we still have 3 more minutes to go, so we take our recipe.
Chicken.
Yes, stir-fried chicken. Yes, so you can have that for breakfast this morning
with a lot of greens.
I'm sure somebody's asking you, yeah, and Janice, where do we actually have the cash for that? But you can try it. Come on, yes, you can try it, and you can save up, you know, a little bit of savings, you know, to have that. They would say now, person they chop, they live life, right?
Trade by barter. If you have rice, they get vegetables.
Yeah, please. We are not in a stone age, but there's actually a market in Cross River State. I'm sorry I'm bringing this up, but there's a market in Cross River State that still has, you know, practice trade and trade by barter.
We can't always take it out. We can only develop in it, but
yes,
it can't totally be
phased out completely.
Nigeria has showed us that they can't.
Yes. Okay, so while Nigeria is happening to us, let's quickly take our quote of the day, and that's how we'll be wrapping things up on this end.
I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I can't accept not trying. Michael Jordan, athlete. I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I can't accept not trying.
Definitely.
Absolutely the way we need to seal this show today. Election is in 5 days. Nigerians, you cannot accept not trying at the polls.
Yeah.
So let's all step out there and try again for our country. My name is Uyaya Nick, and thank you very much for being a part of the show. To everyone who called and to everyone who was a part of a successful production today, we do appreciate you. Definitely see you tomorrow.
Yes, and my name is Janice Cobham. Do have a great and fantastic week ahead. Also try as much as possible to make it very, very productive. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.